The Zealot. Added back in 2019, these at the time were one of the strongest mobs in the game. And back then, if you were able to kill these guys in one shot, it meant you were kind of a big deal. Back then, people even made videos of how fast they could build up their profile and recorded how long it took them until they were able to one-tap a Zealot. Nowadays, Zealots are kind of slept on. No one really cares about them nearly as much as they used to. Nowadays, people kind of lean towards farming or dungeons as an early to mid-game money-making method. But I am here to tell you that even in 2023, these guys can make well over 20 million coins per hour. In this video, I'm going to be going over all of the different methods and ways that you can try to one-tap Zealots. We're going to start with the easiest and cheapest setups that pretty much have almost no requirements, and work all the way up to the hypermax, where we're going to be spending probably well over 100 mil for these setups. Hello everyone, my name is XSIV, and today we are here on the End Island. And then real quick before we hop in, we gotta see who won last video's giveaway for the VIP rank. Good luck to everyone who entered, and let's see who won. Elijah is red, congratulations man. I will be giving you the VIP rank or a rank upgrade, depending if you already have it. So congratulations to Elijah is red on his free rank upgrade. If you did not win, do not worry, we will be doing another giveaway in this video. We will also be giving away a VIP rank or a rank upgrade if you already have VIP. And if you are a true gamer and already have MVP Plus, you will be receiving $10 in Skyblock gems instead. In order to enter, all you have to do is comment your IGN in the comments. You do not have to subscribe to the channel, although I would greatly appreciate it. Enough of that, let's hop back to the video. The first thing you're going to have to do is hit Combat 12 to unlock access to the End Island. And our first setup is actually going to be very simple. We are going to buy an Aurora staff. That's it. You can buy one here for around 1 million coins. If you do not have enough coins, I recommend just bazaar flipping. I have multiple videos on how to do that. If you don't want to bazaar flip and have the Dwarven Mines unlocked, I would recommend just killing Ice Walkers until then. For Ice Walkers, you can literally just use any pickaxe. That's it, and you can one-tap them. I have a video on that as well if you'd like to go and check it out and see how much money we were making. For this very first stage, we have no armor, no accessories, as well as no pet equipped. We are literally just relying on the base damage of the Aurora staff. So in order to get to the Zealot hideout, all you have to do is jump down the middle, and then go through the Dragon Gate into the nest. What the strategy used to be was that people would get God Pots and just melee them with like an aspect of the End or an aspect of the dragons if you had one. But nowadays, I would probably just recommend using the Aurora Staff, as it does have a range. It does much more damage. You don't need a God Pot in order to get one-tap damage. We have deposited all of our coins. We have nothing equipped, no pets, just one Aurora Staff, and that is it. We're going to be farming here in the Dragon's Nest, since at this point in the game, most people would not have access to the Bruiser hideout. We're going to farm these guys with just an Aurora Staff for 1 hour to see how much money we make at this level. We have our timer ready, and let's go. In 3, 2, 1. Nice, there's our very first summoning guy. And there we go. That is the 1 hour. Let's go see how many coins we made. So let's go to the bazaar. And if we insta-sold everything we got, it would be 6.1 million coins. Which we're going to do. We made a little over 100,000 coins just from killing enemies. I also did not put Scavenger on the Aurora Staff when you definitely should. Since they're level 55, that gives you a good amount of coins per kill, which will actually pay itself off very quickly. One other thing I forgot about is Zealot. So when you enter the Dragon's Nest and you come down here, there is the Draconic Altar, and then there's this guy. So if you talk to him, you can check out the Dragon Essence shop. One of the upgrades you can get is Zealot. I've already maxed mine out. It's only a couple mil actually. I believe it's like 6 million coins in order to buy the Essence to max it out. If you're not Catacombs 20 and you can't just buy Essence, you can just make sacrifices to the altar. For some reason, Holy Dragon armor actually gives more essence than the others, except for Superior. And then you can also get rid of Ender armor if you'd like, or the different Ender equipment pieces. So max level Zealot only gives 10% more. So if we took 10% of our earnings, which would be about 600k, we made about 5.5 million. So for our second setup, we're going to be using Young Dragon Armor so that we get more movement speed. And the weapon that we're going to be upgrading to is a Frozen Scythe. So right now, a Frozen Scythe is worth about 7.7 million, which we're going to buy right here. And the Young Dragon Armor was only 1.4 mil. And since the Frozen Scythe does have a decent mana cost of 50, we are going to grab Ultimate Wise real quick. Right now it's about 2.6 million. It is a little expensive, but you are pretty much going to need it with the Frozen Scythe since it does have such a high mana cost. And a God Potion going for 1.6 mil, so altogether, and now that we are super fast, we will be able to outcompete with the other players in the Dragon Nest. We still have no pet equipped, and for our accessory bag, we are using the Sided Power Stone. For Sided, you just need to buy 10 monocles. They are extremely cheap, and if you did want to farm the monocles yourself, you would just kill these Watchers. So we can't quite one-tap them yet, so what we're going to do is put Wise on our Young Dragon Armor. So now that we have Wise on everything, we're also going to throw on Heroic on the Frozen Scythe. There we go, just to get a little bit more intelligence. And so now we are dealing 17,000 damage, which is more than enough. If you are still not doing enough damage to one-tap these guys, I'd recommend getting some sort of magic pet, like a sheep. And if you're still not doing enough damage, I'd recommend getting either the Shadow Goggles or the Wither Goggles, depending on what Kato you are, as they give a % ability damage increase, which should be enough to definitely one-shot them at that point. So now all we're going to do is just speed through here while just spamming Frozen Scythe on everything. And to not make the same mistake as last time, we're going to grab Scavenger 4 from the Bazaar. We're also going to grab Looting as well as Luck. Here we go at 0 coins, and let's get started in 3, 2, 1. And there we go. Let's go back to the island and see how much money we made. So, while we were farming with the Frozen Scythe, since it pierces enemies, we had a lot of crossfire kills with the Obsidian Defenders and the Watchers. So whenever we got like an Ender Cloak or an Ender Belt, I would just instantly sell it to the NPC for 10,000 coins each. Same thing with the Monocles and other random drops. So here is our loot. We got 8 Summoning Eyes, we got a decent amount of Ender Pearls, got a little bit of Enchanted Obsidian and Endstone. We got 11 Crystal Fragments, which is actually pretty good. A lot of Obsidian, and some useless items. As you can see, even before we sell any of these drops, we have 700,000 coins. The majority of it came from Scavenger, which is what I should have done on the first test. Scavenger does pop off. And probably about 200 to 300,000 was from selling those Ender accessories. We have the 11 Crystal Fragments, which go for 1.2 million. And then lastly, with the Summoning Eyes, we're going to get almost 7 million coins. Wow. There we go. So we made out with 9.1 million coins after the 1 hour. And just like in the last one, you can take off 10% if you want to see how much you would make without having Zealot. In this case, we could round it down to about 8 million, which is being a bit generous. I'd recommend just sticking with this until you have enough money to buy yourself a Fire Veil wand, which is going to be part of our next setup. So we're going to be keeping the same Young Dragon Armor reforged to Wise, so that we keep that good movement speed while also getting a little bit more damage. And the reason why we're going to be using the Fire Veil wand is because we're going to be moving into the Bruiser hideout. You come down the staircase here and go through this portal. Here are the Bruisers. You have to be combat level 25 in order to enter, I believe. And these guys have some pretty decent health. If you see, they have 65,000. So the Frozen Scythe is not going to cut it. So with our Young Armor, we can use the Fire Veil wand, which puts a ring of fire around us. And we can just kind of sprint towards these guys. And just kind of run our way through. And then paired with an aspect of the end, if you alternate between the two, you can get around fast enough and try to clear out the area. And the reason why we're going to want to farm here in the Bruiser hideout instead of in the Dragon's Nest is because the Zealot Bruisers give more combat XP, the spawn is more dense in this area, there's no secondary mobs to get in the way, and most importantly, is that Bruisers actually have a higher percent chance of dropping Summoning Eyes. And so if you're able to kill the same amount of Zealots per hour as you are in the Dragon's Nest, you'll get much more Summoning Eyes. At this point, I'd definitely recommend having Zealot maxed out, as that will give you 10% more money per hour. And on top of that, if you're able to afford it at this point, I would definitely recommend getting yourself the Enderman pet. I have a mythic one. You only need a legendary, but the price between the legendary and the mythic is not a lot at all. The held item does not matter. I have a tiger plushie from when I used to play Archer. If you look at the third perk, it's called Zealot Madness. It increases your odds to find a special zealot by up to 25% if you have the mythic one. But as you can see, this thing can get pretty expensive. Right now it's going for about 50 million coins. But you can make back that investment pretty quickly over a course of a couple of days. Or at the very least, you can buy it, farm for a few hours, and then sell it back so you break even on it. But yeah, this is going to be the setup. Again, pretty cheap considering how effectively we're going to be killing these guys. Just using Wise Dragon Armor, which is super cheap. Fire Level Wand, again with Ultimate Wise, because it can get kind of expensive with the mana cost. You don't need a Fire Veil Wand. I just chose to use it for this test because it requires the least amount of stats to one-shot them. And the Young Armor is cheap and synergizes well with it. But pretty much just use any weapon you want at this stage to kill the Zealots. As long as you're one-tapping them, you're good to go. But yeah, let's get our timer ready and deposit these coins and get started. Okay, let's begin in 3, 2, 1. Wow. Okay, that is crazy. Got one in the first 8 seconds. And that's the 1 hour. Let's head back to the island to calculate our profit. So after 1 hour, we made almost 400,000 coins just from killing the Zealots. And since we use the Fire Veil Wand, you actually can't put normal enchants on it, so no scavenger on this one. So into the loot, we got a ton more eyes. 14 in fact. So just from the summoning eyes, we made over 12 million coins in that 1 hour. And let's say we chalked 2 of them up to just RNG being high roll. You would still make over 10 million coins per hour. And if you did not have Zealot, you would make 9.5 million per hour. Which honestly is still pretty good considering how laid back this farming method is. And then with the crystal fragments and the ender eyes, we're going to make an extra 600k. Which altogether puts us at 13.2 million. Again, if you take off the 10%, you're looking at around 12 million coins per hour. With a variance of 2 eyes, if you made 2 less, you'd still make over 10 million coins per hour. So 1 hour of doing this already pays back the cost of the Fire Veil Wand, but again, I would recommend going for a Spirit Scepter instead. And so now it is time to hyper-max this money-making method. Technically speaking, the best weapon to farm these would be a Hyperion, but I don't expect anyone here to actually use a Hyperion to do Zealot farming. And considering that I don't have one either, I can't really show you how much money you would make from it. So for this next test, I'm actually going to be using my favorite out-of-dungeons weapon, being the Glacial Scythe. The Glacial Scythe is the direct upgrade from the Frozen Scythe. Very similar, pretty much do the same thing. The only extra stuff is that this one does explosions when it goes through enemies, and it does more damage. As well as costing around 5 times as much. So this weapon can get pretty pricey, around 50 million coins. I believe the purchase is fully justified. It makes farming Zealots an absolute breeze. I do not think there's any other weapon that will be as smooth as farming Zealots as a Glacial Scythe. And the reason why we're going to be using the Glacial Scythe over any kind of bow is because of the armor that we're going to go with. So for our armor, we're going to be going with Final Destination armor, completely clean with 0 kills on it. So we got the boots for 500,000, the leggings for 650k, and the chestplate for 725k. So these 3 pieces combined are less than 2 mil. Very cheap. The reason why we're not going the helmet is because we're going to be using our Wither Goggles. And the reason why we're going to be using the Wither Goggles is so that we can very easily one-shot the Zealots. If you try using a full set of Final Destination armor, it gets pretty difficult to one-tap them with a Glacial Scythe. I did manage to one-tap them, but I had to put Wisdom on all 4 pieces of the Final Destination armor. And Wisdom can get kind of pricey, well over 2 mil. And even after farming out the kills and selling off the armor, you don't make as much money as you put into it because the enchants lose value once they're applied. So what I decided to do was to keep them completely clean and just use the Wither Goggles to make up for the lost damage. And how we're going to make the money is whenever you get a kill on a zealot wearing the final destination armor, it'll be added to the kill counter down there in the peace bonus. And once you get 10,000 kills on the armor, you can resell them for 6 million coins each. So we buy the full set for less than 2 mil, and once you get all the kills on them, we sell it for around 18 to 20 million coins. Again, I'm just using the glacial scythe because of how convenient it is. If you can't afford it, I would definitely say probably just go a Spirit Scepter. And for this test, we will finally be using our Mythic Enderman pet. Again, a pretty expensive investment. This one is worth around 60 mil at level 98. So we have our purse empty and our timer ready. Let's see how many coins we can make in 1 hour farming zealots. Let's begin. As you can see in chat, our armor just upgraded from getting 100 kills on it. And that is time. Let's head back to the island to calculate our profit. So between getting lucky in the last test and unlucky in this test, we actually managed to get fewer summoning eyes. So in the 1 hour, we managed to get almost 4,000 kills. Even going off of the base summoning eye chance, that means we should get 10. And considering we have a mythic E-Man pet, Zealot 5, getting 2 extra is definitely on the unlucky side. We did, however, get 13 crystal fragments, which will help out a lot. And if you see, we have over 1 million coins just from getting scavenger. So if we sell everything all together, we get 12.3 million. That puts us to 13.5 million coins within the hour. If we round down our kills to 3,300, that means we got 1/3 of the way to 6 million per piece, which means we made about 2 million coins per piece of armor, which comes out to around 6 million coins extra for that hour. We won't get the payoff just yet, but we are 1/3 of the way there to getting that huge payout. So all that together is around 20 million coins per hour. And that's with being unlucky. So that wraps up the ultimate Zealot grinding guide. This video took forever to record and even longer to edit, so if you did make it this far into the video, please consider subscribing to the channel as it does help out a ton. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Take care.